Hey guys, my name is Sultan and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to show you guys exactly how much I now have invested in my portfolio. So, a few months ago I had £2,000 invested and now I'm on 2,500. So today I'm going to show you guys what stocks I'm now invested into, what's changed, from a few months back, and how much dividends I've been paid, my top stocks and everything along that line. So be sure to, watch the full video so you guys can get some insight into my 2,500 beginners portfolio. So right here we can see that I have £2,295 invested, but my overall portfolio is at £2,506 with a £211 return. So this is really good, simply because when I was in about £2,000 a couple months ago, I had about a 2% return, and now that's at 9%. It was actually a 10%, a few days ago, a few weeks ago, but now it's dropped down to about 9%, but the return is still really good. Being almost at 10% return for a small portfolio like this is really good, and we can see that overall most of my companies or most of my stocks are in the greens. We have one at red, we have Kimberly-Clark at red, and I believe we have Verizon at red. So that's it. So out of about 32 stocks, only 3 stocks are at red, so that isn't too bad for a beginner's portfolio. So as I mentioned earlier, I do have 32 investments. I have tried to cut this down. I was reaching the 37s, 38s a couple months back, but I did reduce this because I'm trying to now reduce and solidify the companies I'm invested in. I don't want to over diversify anymore. I'm already diversified quite enough, so I'm trying to actually get this number even below 32. If I can get to like the 29, maybe 28. I just don't know what companies to sell, simply because every company I have at this moment in time is just really good. I really like every single company here. I know every single company here. And yeah, so right now I'm at 32 investments, which is kind of like a solid point for me. But if I can reduce that to 30 or 29, then that's going to be good. So if you guys do, have any ideas on what companies you think I can potentially sell, then be sure to drop it down in the comments below. So right now my top allocations is Kimberly-Clark, then Realty Income, then 3M, then Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, AT&T, IBM, DTE, etc. The main one is Kimberly-Clark, which I'm actually, negative on at this moment in time. So right here, I'm basically on 2 shares, 2.2 shares. But the reason why it is my top allocation is because the stock itself is quite expensive. I'm currently on negative simply because I believe this week Kimberly-Clark actually reduced. So they published out their earnings for the quarter, and Kimberly-Clark was down by about 7% or more. Let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they were negative anyway in terms of their return. In terms of their earnings. So this is the reason why Kimberly-Clark did lose quite a bit of money, and yeah, so they went down from about 140 to 129. Just like a £10 difference or $10 difference, is quite significant for big companies like this. Now for some of my best performing stocks, so Gap is definitely number one. Gap is up by 73%. 73%. That is a lot. That is massive. The thing about Gap is I still remember up to today when I invested in Gap. So a friend of mine actually told me about Gap, and we both did research into Gap, and we were like, you know what, Gap is gonna be really promising simply because of the deal they made with Kanye West. Yeah, right. I think I'm right. So from then I've held on to Gap. So I believe I bought Gap when it was below $10 or something ridiculous like that. Maybe around this 12, 15, but something very low. And now Gap is at 34. So yeah, so I have about 2 shares of Gap. I didn't sell Gap during the point where they stopped paying dividends, but now I think they started paying dividends again, but I haven't actually received the dividends income yet. But I'm definitely past the ex-div date, so if they are paying dividends again, I will be receiving this very soon. But I've held Gap ever since, and I'm up by £20. I stopped paying money into Gap simply because they stopped paying dividends, but maybe I should have in terms of just the growth itself. So Gap is, one of my best performing stocks. And the next one we can see right here is ExxonMobil. So ExxonMobil is also another company that is one of my top ones in terms of return. So Exxon is currently at 33.95% in terms of return, and that is £21. So overall, I have a total investment of £83 into ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil is also another one that I really like. Of course, you guys know over and over again just why I like ExxonMobil, because it was a company that I invested into when it was really cheap, and when the whole, stock market didn't really believe in Exxon, but I held Exxon for, just what it offers, and it being in oil. And of course, oil is kind of a difficult position to invest in right now, but ExxonMobil is definitely one that's really, really promising. And of course, in terms of their dividends payout, they do pay a dividend of 6.16%, which is obviously one of the higher ones as well. And for my third one, so this is also gonna be 3M. So 3M also released their earnings, a couple weeks ago, and they are on the positive side. So they earned more money this year than last year or last quarter. So yeah, 3M is also another promising one. 3M is definitely one of my best stocks, one that I really, really like. Of course, I made a video a couple weeks ago about my top stocks to invest into as a dividend investor as well, and 3M is definitely one of them, simply because it's almost like a ETF on its own. They're really, really diversified. They make a lot of products that you're not even aware about, but 3M is most likely involved, when it comes down to road or electrical products and things along that line, or home products. 3M is involved one way or another. So 3M is definitely one that I do intend on buying a lot more share of. Right now I only have one share of 3M, which is £132, but I'm definitely going to buy more 3M in the future. So for my dividend payouts, right now I currently have a total dividends of £23. Of course, do understand that this is a beginner's portfolio, number one. Secondly, dividends is a compounding thing. So when we look at, let's say, the beginning parts of my whole portfolio, I was getting 5p, 10p, 1 pence, 9 pence, 1 pence. And now if we take a look at how much I'm earning now, we can see a lot more higher numbers: 65, 26, 40, 50s, 20s. So yeah, it is much higher now. So give it another 2 to 3 months, then that might go up to a pound, £1.20, £1.10, and that's kind of the whole point to it. So I started slow, and now I'm earning a lot more, a few months later, and a few months in the future, I will begin to earn even more and more. So right now the dividends ain't too high, but of course I have reinvested every single dividend I've earned. So the future plan is for myself to obviously earn more money, so that way I can put all this money into the dividend portfolio, and of course to reinvest the dividends that I also earn into the dividends portfolio. So hopefully in the next 3 years, 4 years, this portfolio is going to be significantly bigger. And be sure to obviously subscribe so you can see the journey from now, obviously, till the next few years to come. But for my most recent dividends income, we do have Portland Electrics, Pemba, Realtor Income also paid me because they are a monthly stock, one of my favorite monthly stocks. Main Street Capital, we have Leg and Platt, we also have DTE and Franklin Resources. So this is just all the earnings I earned in one day. So this was on the 19th of April, and this is probably up to a total of about, let's say, £2 or £1.80 or something along that line that I earned in a day. So this isn't really too bad, but of course if you compare how much that is to my total dividends, we can see that this is a lot more high, or this is definitely a lot more significant than how much I used to earn back in the day. And now for future plans, or for things to do with the future, we can see that Gill Science is releasing their earnings, as well as Chevron and Exxon and Portland Electric, AbbVie. So lots of companies are going to be releasing their earnings. So this means that there will be some fluctuations in my portfolio. I do hope it's going to be greens, of course, because most of these companies hopefully will do well in their upcoming earnings and everything like that. So I do hope the company is going to obviously, the portfolio is going to grow. And in terms of my dividends, currently I am earning £7.05. So this was significantly lower a few months ago. We can see that this has increased, and by 2022, if I invested absolutely nothing from today, in 2022 it says I'm going to be earning £8 in 2022, and of course £8 is the mark I'm trying to get to, so that way my phone bill is going to be absolutely free and it's going to be covered by my dividends. But of course this money is going to be invested into the portfolio once again, but it just means that I've started earning enough to pay my phone bill for free. I'm basically investing or reinvesting my phone bill into my portfolio. That's basically what I'm doing. So that's going to be a really, really good mark, and that's going to be a really, really good set point for me. In terms of my monthly payments, we can also see that March is still my top, and we have June, then we have September, then we have December. So these are the months where I'm earning a ton more money. And for the lowest one, this is November, August, and May. So the plan is to increase these amounts, to a much higher level, so that way every single month I'm earning something substantial. Obviously some months will just be higher than others because most companies pay a certain month, which is obviously March, June and December. But so far, you know, this is basically what I've got. Right now, I'm earning 0.01 every single hour, which is basically nothing. You know, let's not even think about that. And I'm earning 27 pence daily. So, I mean, it's a good look. It's just something small to motivate me. Yeah, but nothing major. You know, hopefully, you know, let's give it about 9 years, then that's going to be really, really significant. You know, thank God for that. So that's a wrap. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. So that is just a short insight or small insight into how my portfolio is doing in the month of May. And hopefully by June, you know, things are going to be much bigger. I'm going to invest a lot more money. And yeah, we're just going to have to see how the future goes. Right now, I'm still investing 20 every single month simply because I have to invest, you know, other money aside into other things and stuff like that. So right now, I'm still investing £20 every single month. You know, I pray that does increase by 2022, but for now, that is going to be £20 every single month. So the portfolio isn't doing too bad. I'm up by 9%. So be sure to subscribe down below so you can see regular updates on my dividends portfolio and anything to do with finance, investing, stock market, anything along that line. So thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for being here today. Be sure to use the link down below to get any stock worth up to £200, and I will see you guys next week. Have a blessed day. See ya.